You know, like when you have like a sore spot on you, you feel. Do you feel the
compulsion to press it?
Compulsion. Thank you. I was gonna say impulse, but like you have to like push it, like go, like you're trying to shove the pain deep back inside of you, where it can't be felt anymore. That's what I'm doing, Heather.
I think we're having a mental health moment right now.
Let's get ready for the Heather and Ryan Show. There you go. Nailed it.
Yeah! This is the Heather and Ryan Show, where all we're trying to do is put you in a better mood by the end of the episode than you're in right now.
Welcome to our bubble.
Welcome. And by the way, we want to put you in a better mood even if you're already in a good mood. You don't have to be in a bad mood at the beginning.
Welcome to our bubble.
But if you are, okay, I'll stop. We're going to play our second and final round of You're Getting Old, the party game for aging millennials. That's us, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
It is by Vango.
Mm-hmm.
It is available at vangotoys.com. They are not a sponsor, and we are playing a modified for podcasting version of the game. Here's how it works. I have a set of cards. On the top of each card is an old thing. For example, it might say, you're just now realizing that some millennials are considered middle-aged. That's an old person thing.
Heather, are we middle-aged?
Have you had that realization? I think that I am. I did the math, and it seems like it's accurate.
Yeah, it seems like it. You know, apparently over the hill isn't until you're 50. I figured 40 would be over the hill.
Oh, really? I thought it was like 80.
No, over the hill, because then you're on the downward side of life to death. Over the hill.
Decay? Are you decaying from that point forward?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's only getting worse for you.
That's
physically.
What I'm saying is that your middle age should be the peak, right, of your life span. Because the average age is what, like 80 years old now?
Something.
So 40 would be middle-aged.
It would be.
And over the hill. Not that I'm arguing to make myself feel older, but...
I know, it's like, you're in the same club as me. You're the one that keeps talking about your jowls. You've mentioned it numerous times.
I almost brought it up again, but I was like, you know what? It's bad taste. I've already brought it up. And then here we go. You got to bring it up.
They're not as noticeable as you think they are. I'm just going to throw that out there. You can see your jowls. Well, when you do that, when you stick your chin to your neck, sure. All right, listen, nobody can see us being idiots. Let's move on with these game instructions. Okay, so the old thing is you're just now realizing that some millennials are considered middle-aged.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have recently had that realization, Ryan, you would get a point. Ditto for me. But you do not want to earn points in this game. Points are bad. But should you earn an old point, you do have a chance to redeem yourself and get that point knocked off your score. Because at the bottom of each card is a young thing. For example, you're stressed out all the time. I feel like that's an everyone thing, but let's proceed.
Mm-hmm.
If that is true for you, then you get to knock that pesky point off your score altogether, and ditto for me. Whoever gets the least points wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights trophy.
Until we play again.
We are tied 0-0. Ryan?
I just wanted to take issue with the young person point there. As you said, everybody feels like that. What on earth made these people think that old people don't feel stress? I'm still working, bro. I feel stress every day.
I think that, I don't know. I think maybe some young people made this game and then like they have old retired parents that just drink margaritas all day or something. So they think they're not stressed.
Yeah, because they're stressed.
Something. They are stressed. That's why the margaritas. That's what that's all about. Okay, Ryan. The first card. The old thing. You've said, this electric lawnmower is great. I'm never going back to gas-powered. I mean, I can legitimately say I have not ever said that. Not once ever. You look like you've said it.
Well,
I see a sheepish look on your face.
I do own an electric mower.
We own a gas mower. We still have a gas mower. I'm young, I guess. It seems like the electric mower would be more of a young person thing. I don't know.
I agree.
I
100% agree. You know how many old timers I hear bitching about electric vehicles?
It's just not to get into triggering topics, but anyways, Ryan, it still means that you get a point. So
I know.
So far, you're older than me.
I contest it though. I hope they listen to this podcast.
Who? Young people?
The people who created this game. I hope they listen to it and hear me.
Vango, if you're out there,
a protest that question. Continue, Heather.
Let's see if you can redeem yourself. You've described something large as an absolute unit. Never even heard that expression.
I've heard it
ever in my life.
And I'm afraid to say that I have not actually said it.
Oh, old man.
But I immediately thought of Randy Johnson, the big unit.
I don't know what that is. Is that a wrestler?
He was the pitcher for this, not the Seahawks. Oh my gosh, the Mariners.
Mm-hmm. For the Orlando Blooms. Want to bring that one back?
And then I think he got traded to Texas at some point.
Oh, okay.
Not that I follow sports. I just happen to remember that because there was a time where I was into sports and I admired Randy Johnson. Because I, too, wanted to be an MLB pitcher.
Aw. How fast is your fastest fastball that you ever threw?
Well, Heather, the last time I played baseball was in 1997-ish.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't speed trapping our balls back then.
No, huh? Okay.
No.
We could measure it in softball.
Listen, I wanted to be the pitcher so bad for my baseball team, but our pitcher was the coach's son.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I practiced all season long. Dad and I were out in the backyard and practicing my pitch regularly. And finally, on our very last game, his arms started getting tired, and we already had 2 outs last inning, and they put me in to pitch. And my first ball that I threw was a wild pitch. And Dad started to walk away. Because if I walked this guy, they were going to win. My second pitch.
Did you walk him? Okay.
My second pitch was also a wild pitch.
Great. Okay.
My third pitch was a foul ball.
Okay.
And then my fourth pitch was another foul ball.
Nice.
And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try to do a curveball. And I aimed for his head.
Oh, God.
And I threw the ball. And
hit him in the head with it.
It was going straight for the head. And I thought, oh, fuck. I fucked up. And then it curved.
Nice.
And he dove away, and I struck him out. And I won the game. That was the only time I ever pitched. That is a true story.
Ryan, that's an amazing curveball. A curveball that is so good, he thought he was going to be hit by it, dived out of the way, and then it was a strike. That's MLB material right there. Should have tried out.
You know what? And another story, back in my heyday as a little league baseball player, do you remember when I got hit in the mouth with a baseball? Twice?
Vaguely.
Happened
you
twice.
You were always injured in some way, so...
So the first time I got hit in the face with the baseball was... So you remember how they divided up the leagues back then? It was minor league and then major league. Did they do that for softball? Where minor league was like middle schoolers?
I think so.
And then,
I think so, yeah.
Or elementary schoolers, and then major league was middle schoolers, and then they had the Baby Ruth League, which was high schoolers.
Okay.
So when I was in minor league, we were practicing, and the coach I was playing, what was I playing? I was playing first base, I believe. I believe I was on first base. No, sorry, I was on second base. And so the play he kept playing was he'd hit a ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop would throw it to me, and then I would throw it to first. And we kept practicing that over and over and over and over. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to save myself some time and turn and just face shortstop. And I just sat there and I held my mitt out waiting for the play to go. And then I hear dink. And I'm sitting there waiting. Oh, ball's not going towards shortstop. So I turned to see what was happening. And just then, the ball hit a patch of grass, bounced, and smacked me right in the mouth.
Ooh.
And so, of course, Dad had to rush me out of there because I was bleeding all over the place. And all the time, he was cursing this man who just did this to me. And then the second time was I went in for a bunt. I was in Major League now. Coach called a bunt.
Wait, pause before you tell this story.
Back away from the microphone.
Did you learn your lesson?
About getting hit in the face with
keeping your
things?
eye on the ball. Keep your eye on the ball. It's rule number 1 in baseball. It's actually rule number 2. Rule number 1 is no crying in baseball.
Okay, well, I thought rule number 1 was keep your mouth on the ball, apparently, because it happened way too frequently.
You had a basic misunderstanding concerning baseball.
Apparently.
As a young man. Sorry, go ahead. You were bunting.
So I go in for the bunt, and I stuck my face right over the top of the bat, and it hit the bat and ricocheted and hit me in the mouth, and then it landed on the ground as a fair ball, and I'm bleeding all over the place. Fucking screaming, and the catcher picks up the ball, tags me out, and the ump's like, "You're out!" Meanwhile, I was bleeding so much I didn't really care. The whole point of that was I started becoming afraid of the ball. I would flinch every time the ball came near me, right? And so I wrote a letter to Ken Griffey Jr. And I said, "Dear Ken Griffey Jr., I would like to be a Major League Baseball player one day, and I'm afraid of the baseball. How can I get over my fear? Love, Ryan McLeod." And then I mailed the letter off, and Dad intercepted it. And he was like, "Why are you writing to Ken Griffey Jr. about this? You can come talk to me about this. I'll tell you how to not be afraid of the ball."
And then he threw a ball in your face.
And then I felt bad, and I was like, "It's okay, you don't have to send the letter to Ken Griffey Jr., Dad."
I bet you he would have answered it, too.
Who knows?
He would have come to play ball with you, Ryan, and help you get over your fear of the baseball.
We lived close enough, he might have done that.
Well, I tell you what, we've derailed completely from the game, so we're going to go on to the next card. It is tied right. No, it's not tied. You're losing by 1 because you're older than me. You have an old soul, an old decrepit soul. The old thing.
Pardon me?
You've said, the old thing. You've said, where is the good stapler?
I can say I have never said that.
I never have, but Ryan, I'm going to give myself a point for this because you know what I have said?
What?
Where's the good spatula? That one. There's a good spatula and a not very good spatula. Okay, let's see if I can redeem myself. You've filmed a concert on your phone, then never watched the video again.
100%.
Yep, totally. Although, does it count if it's like my kid's choir concert?
Sure.
At like the winter choir?
That's a concert.
Okay, great, because I've definitely done that. Well, Ryan, that just knocked your point off. Mm-hmm. So we're tied at 0 again. I might be scoring this wrong. It feels
I think
like
you
one
are
of us should be losing.
Since we agreed that you would get a point or a negative point if, right? Even if you got it right?
Yeah, but
I don't know. You know what? I trust you, Heather. I trust you.
Okay.
I trust you with my life. I trust you with the points.
All right, Ryan, the old thing.
Mm.
You bring your own pillow with you when you travel.
No.
No.
That's
Nope.
that's just too much.
It's too much luggage.
What am I gonna stuff it in my carry-on?
Stuff it in your belly.
Oh.
And look pregnant for a while.
Heather, genius.
Yeah.
I tried one of those neck pillows once. Like when I went out to Boston, I bought one of those neck pillows because I was catching a red eye. It was not helpful.
The neck pillows that wrap around and then clip in the front of your neck, is that what you're talking about?
It's just like a shaped like a toilet seat.
Like a half donut.
Yeah, half donut.
Okay. I have heard that you're supposed to put those on the other way than you think. So you think you're supposed to wrap it around your neck so that the gap is at the front of your neck? You're supposed to put it on so that the gap is at the back of your neck. That apparently makes those pillows work.
Interesting.
Ryan, would you like to see if we can both get a negative point and become even younger?
Yes.
The redeeming young thing. You're not at the point where you regret things you've posted on the internet. I think we've all regretted things we've posted on the internet.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, sorry, that's real young. That's like 5 years old young right there. Okay, next old thing. You flirted with your crush over AIM. What's AIM? AIM?
AOL Instant Messenger. You never... Oh, no. I don't think you had AIM around the time that AIM was popular. Because you were busy.
I didn't. And guess what, Ryan? You want to know what the redeemer is here? You don't know what AIM is. -1 for me.
Oh. That would be a young person thing.
Hey, question. Have you flirted with your crush over AIM?
Yes, I have.
Oh. Very good. 1 point for you, loser. Let's go on to the next old person card. I think we'll do one more of these because I want to get to the stories because I've got some great ones.
Oh, good.
And listener comments.
What?
Yes.
Yay! Is it a happy one?
Yeah, it's neutral.
Okay.
It's not good. It's not like good or bad.
Okay.
All right, Ryan, here's the last one.
All right.
The old thing. You remember when you had to call a friend's landline and talk to their parents first? Yep, definitely.
What's a landline, Heather?
Yeah, nice try, buddy. Nice try. Oh my goodness. Here is the redeemer.
Uh-oh.
What was your childhood friend's home phone number?
It was 843-31... No, it was 843-3127. 843-3127. Bam. Nailed it. Woo!
Okay, well, I will edit that name out that you just said. Doxing your friend on the internet. I feel like not remembering the number is the young person redeemer, though.
Hey, I'm not going to contest it, Heather. I'm not going to contest it. I win. I mean, I got it.
I'm giving you a point for that. You have 3 old people points.
There's not a single young person out there that remembers their friends' phone numbers.
There's not. And you know what? I don't remember my childhood friend's home phone number. I do remember the number of the school.
Yes.
But
do you remember our home phone number?
Nope. No, I do not. I don't remember
How do you not remember our home phone number?
I don't know. It had in front of it. That's all I got.
And 843.
You know what? I gotta beep a lot of these numbers out because I feel like we're gonna dox Chad if we keep going.
No,
okay.
You're not. They're gonna call some random person in Sheridan. Like, is Chad there? And I'm like, no. Pardon me, I need to go do my methamphetamines now. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see how I feel about it when I get there because, Ryan, it's time to move on with stories from the internet. So I was trying to figure out, because we already did last episode, what was your old person moment?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's boring to do again. And I was going to do, hey, let's do midlife crisis stories.
Ooh.
And apparently midlife crisis stories is a bunch of people feeling real sorry for themselves, and it wasn't entertaining at all. So instead of that, I just decided to go with, what is the strangest thing that's ever happened to you? And oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever searched on Reddit. Get ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
From Beans375. I'm too young to remember this actually, but my mom always tells this story. Apparently when I was younger, like barely able to speak, I was sitting on the floor playing with some toys nonchalantly with my mom when I just said, when I was in heaven, I met a woman who said you'd be the perfect mommy for me. I apparently held the belief that I was in heaven before being born, and an angel looked at me and chose the mom I went to. My mom asked me to describe the woman, and I apparently described my mom's great-grandmother perfectly, down to the eye color. I had never met my great-grandmother, nor seen a picture of her. I love that kind of story.
That's
pretty cool.
Did I ever tell you Sophie's story?
No, you didn't.
So it was back when we lived at our old place. We lived on a second-floor apartment. And, sorry, my lip is really bothering me right now.
Try not to keep poking it. That might be irritating it. Just a thought.
You know, like when you have like a sore spot on you, you feel, do you feel the
compulsion to press it?
Compulsion, thank you. I was going to say impulse, but like you have to like push it, like go, like you're trying to shove the pain deep back inside of you where it can't be felt anymore. That's what I'm doing, Heather.
I think we're having a mental health moment right now. But yes, I'm right there with you. I do the same thing. Go on.
So anyways, what was I talking about? Remind me.
Sophie, second floor apartment.
Second
it was
floor
similar
apartment,
in
Sophie. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was right after Rebecca's grandfather passed away, and it was like maybe like 2 or 3 days afterwards, but we were in the house and Sophie came out of her room screaming frantically, and she was scared, and she told Rebecca that she saw a man and a woman standing in her window. And again, we're on the second floor, so it's not possible for someone to stand in the window. And she obviously knew what Rebecca's grandfather looked like, so she described him, and then also described the woman standing next to him had a red blanket on her hair because she was real young. And so Rebecca was like, that's my grandma, because her grandma used to wear a red bandana all the time. That was like what she wore. And so, but Sophie, because the grandmother had passed away like in the 90s. So Sophie had never met her or seen pictures of her, but that was what she described. So we thought that was pretty cool.
Interesting. So the grandma just waited around all that time for Grandpa.
Apparently
to kick the bucket. That's pretty cool, actually. When I die, I'm not waiting for anybody. I'm moving on. All right. From Abel Marrow, 87. As a child visiting my grandma's house, my mom's mom, whenever I left the house, I'd wave next door to Ken, who was always sat in the bay window looking out at the sea. They lived right on the coast off the North Sea in Hartlepool, UK. We'd never really talk, but just a little wave before I went to get into the car. One time, I'm leaving my gran's house. I'm in front of my mum, who's stopped at the door to talk to my gran. So I head down the steps and towards the gate. I turn back and see Ken in the window, big smile as usual, waving at me. I give him a wave back. He stands up, gives me the thumbs up, and wanders towards the back of the room. My mum comes walking down the steps and asks, "Who are you waving at?" I replied, "Ken." To this day, I can remember my mom's face. She just went white, but didn't say anything to me. It was only a few weeks later when she plucked up the courage to tell me that Ken had died a few days prior to our visit to my gran's. I don't believe in ghosts, but I know I saw him. I can still picture his striped gray sweater with light stripes across it, him waving and getting up out of his chair. There was no one else in the house. He lived by himself. Brains are weird. It was a ghost, non-believer.
Mm-hmm.
It was the ghost of Ken. He wanted you to know he was okay. That was the thumbs up. That's what that was.
That's what it was. Agreed.
All right. From Plumhawk. When I was about 12 years old, I went up to Lake Tahoe with my friend and his parents who had a condo in Incline Village. One day, the two of us are walking to the bowling alley and cross a street in a crosswalk. Right before we get to the curb, a car comes really close to hitting us. All of a sudden, we're both up on the curb, like we were lifted a few feet. We both looked at each other strangely. Did you jump? No. Did you? No. We spent the next hour kind of dumbfounded. It didn't feel like a shove or any use of force. We were still in the street, then we weren't. That is cool. That's a ghost also, I think.
Alien abduction.
Okay, that could be, but what about a friendly ghost that's like, oh, look out, guys, and just gently puts them back on the curb so they don't get hit by the car?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely Casper.
Or it's an alien abduction.
Yeah.
Okay. From Charlie 2135. Had a dream that I got a phone call saying my brother that I haven't seen in 10 years had died. 2 days later, I got a call that he actually had died. That stuff is so... Like, I do feel like dreams can sometimes be very prophetic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like somebody will have a dream and then it'll actually happen in real life. The closest thing I ever got to this was when I was working at the cinema and I had a dream that there was technical difficulties and I couldn't get the show started. And it was like a half an hour in and I couldn't get the show started because of technical glitches. And then everyone started marching out wanting their money back.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a day later, I was working in the cinema and I started to have technical glitches and I couldn't get the show to start.
Oh, no.
But it only took me 15 minutes and nobody asked for their money back.
Oh,
but
good.
I was starting to panic. That's it. That's the closest I ever got to a prophetic dream.
Have you ever been to a movie where they've had technical difficulties?
No, but I've been to a movie where they just don't bother to start it and I have to go out and be like, could you start it? This one theater near me always does. Like, I swear to God, I just get ready and the minute it's 30 seconds past, I just go out
Just
and
wait
like,
by
movie
the door?
didn't start. Yeah, because I know they're not going to start the movie on time. I don't know.
I was going to say there was one time where we went to go see Harry Potter, whatever the final one was, or the second, it was the second to last one, right? So the two-part, whichever the one that is.
Oh, the final one, yeah.
Yeah. So we went to an IMAX theater. This was like the big old screen, you know, it was crazy. It was like in a dome auditorium. But at one point during the movie, like the sound cut out. So we're all sitting there trying to watch this movie and there's no sound. And somebody in the crowd could read lips. And so they started saying the lines for everybody to hear what was going on. And that went on for about 5 minutes. And finally someone was able to fix the sound. But that was pretty cool. We didn't miss any dialogue thanks to that hero.
You know what? It would have been awesome if it was bad lip reading in the middle of the movie.
I want cake. I want it now.
Those videos crack me up. Some of the funniest stuff on the internet. Let's see here, Ryan. I think we'll do 2 more of these. I have so many, but we'll do 2 more, and maybe I'll save the rest for next week. From Wicked Pixel 1221. I used to fence the sport, not stolen. I'm going to say that again because it's a great joke. I used to fence the sport, not stolen goods. I was at a tournament and had just started a bout against a competitor. You win the bout by being the first to 5 points. I score what I believe to be the first point, but the official indicates the match is over and I've won. I stood there confused for a second, but my opponent seems to agree and salutes and approaches for a handshake, so I go along with it. I check the scorecard and it says I've won 5-2. Totally lost probably 4 or 5 minutes of time. Hasn't happened since to the best of my knowledge, but it's been 20 years and I still wonder what happened.
Alien abduction.
Alien abduction in the middle of a fencing match. That's when they usually happen.
They did a swapsies. So they scanned them first and then they made a silicone mold of their body and put it on one of their little green aliens. and he walked around. And so then they beamed him up and then beamed that one down at the same time. This alien is a rock star fencer, by the way.
Okay.
And crushed the tournament. Well, this game, at least. Until the very last point, they swapped him back and let him get the... Because what happened is the alien was going in for a jab, and then they swapped it out, and then he finished the jab and won the tournament.
I also have a theory. I think he spaced out real bad for 4 or 5 minutes.
Nonsense.
It can happen. All right, let's see here. I was trying to decide which one to do here. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, this one. Holy moly. From Gandalf_Rex. I was driving across the U.S. and drove into Salt Lake City. For whatever reason, I got a craving for IHOP, so I punched it into Google Maps and followed the directions to a spot in the middle of town. I walk in, and the place is empty. I don't mean like there were no customers. I mean there is literally not a person in the place. No waitstaff, no customers, no cooks, nobody. There was partially eaten food on the tables, bags and purses in the booths, TVs on everywhere, burgers on the grill slowly burning, and there wasn't a soul in the place, like they all just vanished at once. I was so freaked out I hopped in my car and drove until I hit the Nevada border before stopping to eat. Still have no idea what the fuck happened.
I can tell you right now what happened, Heather.
They were abducted by aliens. Please go ahead. Oh.
A group of masked robbers, came into the store, and they held the place up, and they drove a white windowless van there, and they loaded everybody into the vans and drove them away to hold them for ransom.
Interesting.
That's what happened.
Theory. Well, that could be. Edits here by this poster. To those asking, this happened on June 3rd, 2017 at approximately 4 p.m. Stayed around 5 to 10 minutes before booking it. I thought it might have been a robbery too, but figured what robber holds up an IHOP and leaves the purses untouched? Like I said, can't explain it. I wonder if maybe somebody should call the police when something like that happens.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? Like you walk in, looks like everybody just got abducted from their lunch, including all the employees. And then they were all in the freezer.
Yeah. Oh, why
they were all in the walk-in freezer.
Heather.
They're dead now. Sorry, everyone. Because I don't know how that story ends. Okay, Ryan. We had a post blow up.
Nice.
This last week. It blew up. Over 500 entire people watched it.
Wow.
It was a YouTube short.
Nice.
And 3 people commented. But I answered their comments, so there's 6 total comments on it.
Nice.
All right. Let me go and find this short, and I shall play it for you.
Okay.
That's the hold music.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum 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 bum.
I actually found it a while ago. Do you want me to play it? Okay. What food combination do you eat that makes others cringe?
Is it Marmite?
Well, that's not really a food combination. You put that on toast like you're supposed to, and some people like it and some people don't.
Marmite, crackers, and avocado.
The only thing that's going to make people cringe about that is the Marmite, because you love it or you hate it.
Or maybe the avocados.
Yeah, but mainly the Marmite. Can we be honest with that? It's not very likable. We love it, but it's rare to meet an American that likes Marmite.
True.
Okay, are you ready for the comments? From @GwenMoon9919. I've heard of Marmite so much and never gotten around to trying it. I live in America and have an idea of what it tastes like based off the reactions I've seen and descriptions I've heard, but I've just always been so curious. Now,
try it.
You should try it, but I'm going to give a word of caution. which I already commented in response to her comment, but I will let everybody else know that if you're going to try Marmite or Vegemite, which, by the way, Ryan, I was forced to buy Vegemite because the store that I usually get Marmite from doesn't sell it anymore and only sells Vegemite. It's atrocious.
Vegemite's all right. I mean, Vegemite's not bad. Let's be real. I mean, it's basically the same thing.
It's not bad.
It's a little different.
Marmite's slightly better. I like it
so much better.
Right. Sorry, Australia. And on we go. So here's what you have to do. Down under. Here's the thing.
Crock me arm.
If you're going to try Marmite or Vegemite, what you have to do... I promised I wouldn't do Australian accents anymore. Stop it. What you have to do, first open the jar far away from your body. Don't have it right up at your face. And then what you do is like in science class, if you remember, you waft it toward yourself. And if it smells bad, just quit. Just don't even try it because it tastes like it smells and you're not going to like it. If you don't like the smell, you're not going to like the taste.
That's true.
Now, if the smell is okay and you're like, I mean, I'm still willing to try this, what you do next is you make yourself a piece of toast, butter the toast, and just put the thinnest amount possible on there and take a bite.
Not even a pea size. Like half a pea size.
Ever so tiny an amount. It's not chocolatey and it's not sweet, just as a forewarning. I would describe it as sort of salty and tangy. It's yeasty. It's definitely yeasty.
Well, it is a byproduct of beer brewing.
Which is interesting because I don't like beer at all. And yet I love Marmite. I don't know why that is.
Well, I assure you that Marmite tastes nothing like beer.
That's true because I love Marmite and I hate beer, so I can attest to that. All right, from @Chris Henshaw, 3623, Marmite apple slices cheddar cheese in a sandwich. I had not considered the apple with that, but that does sound like something to try. I will try that. I'll let you know, Ryan.
Yes, you do the research and let me know.
I'm going to have to do it on a cheat day because I've been really good lately.
Like, I can see the apples and the cheese, and I can see the Marmite and the cheese.
Yeah.
But Marmite
and the cheese and the bread and the Marmite and the bread.
I know. I'm just skeptical. I'll hear your thoughts first, and then I'll try.
Okay. It may be a while before I bring myself to try this, mainly because of the bread. You know what I might do? Apple, cheddar cheese.
I wonder if
and Marmite, just the three.
Are they like thinly sliced apple slices? They would have to be.
Well,
to make a sandwich.
I think you can slice them however you like. Yeah, thin apple.
Interesting.
Just a bit of sweetness. With especially if you get a real sharp cheese.
Mm-hmm.
The sharp with the sweet, with the yeasty, salty, tangy. Yeah. I think that could work. And last but not least, Ryan, @Giuseppe Basile, 9378, celery and syrup, which I believe is an answer to the original question, what is your weird food combination? Yeah. And I was like, maple syrup? No answer. So I feel like they're talking about maple syrup.
That's usually what people are talking about when they say syrup.
Yeah.
Not many people are referring to high fructose corn syrup.
Or strawberry syrup, maybe. Chocolate syrup. There's lots of syrups.
I think we all know he meant maple syrup. They meant a maple syrup.
I will try the Marmite apple sandwich. You should try the celery maple syrup. You let me know how that goes.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I don't like celery. Or I might try that. But the celery is going to ruin the maple syrup. Huh?
I'm trying to imagine what that would taste like. Because celery's got a strong flavor.
Yeah, it does. It's a super strong flavor. It's not a particularly nice flavor. I've tried so many ways to eat celery because I feel like it's healthy for me. I've done it with peanut butter. I've done it with hummus. Mainly what I have to do is chop it up real small and cook it. Because once you cook it, a lot of that heavy flavor goes off of it and it's a lot more mild. So that's how I roll. Maybe I'll cook the celery. Celery pancakes. Ryan, celery pancakes.
You're going to regret it, Heather.
Probably. Anyway, here's the thing. I forgot to mention earlier that you should send us your stories. We want your story. What's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you? Comment below if you're listening/watching in YouTube, or go to the description/episode notes of this episode in your podcast app. Click on the link to the YouTube channel and leave your comment under this episode on YouTube. We want to know your stories, or email us, theheatherandryanshow@gmail.com. And Ryan, I will now leave everybody with some free advice, which is really redundant because I already said it. Proceed with caution when you try Marmite. That's all I got. Do you have anything better? Advice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And hey, if you walk into a totally deserted place that looks like everybody just got abducted, maybe just do a little 911 call real quick instead of driving to the Nevada border.
You can do it on your way out, just, if you don't want to stick around. But make the call.
For sure.
That seems like some better free advice, Heather.
It is. But now everybody has both pieces of advice.
Bonus advice. Mwah. Genius.
And may you have the most delicious and thankful Thanksgiving dinner you've ever had. Until... Oh, God.
We play again.
Excellent.